Hello, hello, everybody. Just getting myself set up here, just waiting for a chat with Josie Stewart. Today, I'm going to be talking about natural health with Josie Stewart, and she should be jumping on the call. And I'm just setting up here, just getting started for a call today. Cameras can be off or on. Everyone is free to uh, wasn't intending to mute myself there. I was hoping actually to see if mute our guest. Uh, there we go. Just getting ourselves going here for today. Just getting started. Just getting myself started. Just getting ready for a conversation today with Josie Seward. She's going to be sharing her testimony of natural healing and health with us today. I'm looking forward to catching up with her. I have spoken to her a couple of times over the last couple of years. Excuse me, just while I'm just organizing here. Hello, 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 everybody. We're just going to keep the microphones on mute. We're just waiting for Josie Seward to arrive. So not certain where Josie is, and hopefully she's going to be here real soon. Not really sure where she is at all. So, oh,
She's
oh.
pretty busy.
But it seems other people are looking forward to speaking with Josie. So I'm not the only one. It looks like. Let's see. Oh yes, this looks like it might be Josie now. Oh yes, wonderful. Hello, Josie. Hello, Josie. It's great.
Hello.
Thank you.
How are you?
Great, great, great. I was just wondering where you were, getting a little bit worried, you know.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I was sending that link to several people that weren't able to find how to join us.
I'm sorry that we didn't get the links out. This is definitely a weakness of mine.
No, it's not a weakness. It's an opportunity, my friend. It's an opportunity.
Thank you.
It's
Lovely.
an opportunity. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, an opportunity for teamwork and support.
Collaboration.
Collaboration. You know, some people have strengths and some people have weaknesses and other people
I think all of us do. Consider granting yourself the same grace that you afford all of us.
Oh, isn't that lovely? You see this?
How are you this morning? Well, for you, it's maybe not morning anymore. For me, it is morning.
Right. It's still the morning. Yes, I'm just finishing up my morning, and you know, just easing into the afternoon here. Just easing into the afternoon.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So I'm super excited to catch up with you again today. You know, I spoke with Josie a couple of years ago. And from the beginning, like I was really excited about our meeting. And I know she shared about some changes that she accomplished and was working on in her life a couple of years ago. So I'm really excited to kind of get an update on what's been happening, like what's been going on with you, Josie.
Right.
Josie. And I want to know what has happened, and I want to know what you learned, because sometimes we get like information about natural healing and trying to heal ourselves naturally. We get information, and then, you know, when we actually work through it and we interpret it, we come out after the experience and we have a little bit different understanding of it, and we kind of maybe say it differently when we've gone through it than when we're just kind of going into it.
Yeah.
You get a different perspective?
Without a doubt. Yeah, living it versus reading it versus watching others then live it and put it into practice. There are so many different layers and levels, but I believe that it all starts with the self. Any concept, any change, any new information, I think these bodies have been gifted to us as these beautiful test tubes, if you will, to really experiment with what they're capable of doing for us. And it has been my experience that we were created or have come to be designed in a way that we are made to thrive. We are naturally abundant. We are naturally self-regulating. We don't need a lot from the external. In fact, we are our own source. It's finding that source in other people. We find inspiration in other people because we are mirrors of each other. And just like it's easier to see the things we don't like in other people, right? We see that very quickly. But maybe we don't realize that the things that we admire in each other, in our mentors, and the people that we love the most is actually also a reflection of that self that we love and admire. So yeah, I'm just grateful to be here with you guys today, sharing this.
Recognizing the love and light in each one. This is
Yeah,
it. This is seeing the light in another, finding it in ourselves, recognizing it's in both of us.
yeah.
That's
Fostering that
beautiful.
in yourself. I recently read some words that have changed my life. I'm doing a lot of internal work on, so a lot of the work that I have come to realize, the work for me started with my physical body. I am aware of our 7 main bodies, okay, our subtle bodies. We have 4 main bodies within those 7 bodies: the physical body, the mental body, the emotional body, and the spiritual body. And the work that I do for myself and sometimes with other people is to integrate and combine all of those bodies so that they are comfortably dwelling within each other and working in sync with one another. And for me, I have found that that all starts by creating a foundation within the physical body, our temple, our dwelling space. And that's where this journey started for me. That started before I met you, John. For me, it did start, I would say, I will say maybe it started at birth when I was vaccinated and I had a severe reaction to that vaccination and was very, very sick immediately, including a seizure that lasted for a unimaginable amount of time. And the disturbing part would be that they wanted to continue administering the rest of the planned vaccines. My mother obviously decided that wasn't a good idea. And so thankfully, she was able to take me somewhere. I live in Arizona. I live where there's a lot of native reservation land out here. And so she took me to a medicine man and he explained what was happening. And that's really where my journey did start, because I had the opportunity to grow up watching her fight through myself and my 4 siblings not being vaccinated, and living in a society that is not necessarily built for. And I want to be clear that I accept and love everyone for their choices and for choosing to do what they feel is best for their body. I think that that is a personal decision between you and your God and your body. Who could ever tell you what is best? My intention for today is to tell you about what has affected me, what has impacted me, what has worked for me. And what may also work for other people. So for me, I like to start this conversation there because I had a lifetime of awareness that maybe some of the things that we're told we should look into and decide if it's right for us. And so because of that open-mindedness, I believe, whenever the next phase started for me, which was illness, I found this lifestyle through suffering. I was suffering. I was 24 and I was about 250 pounds. I had been pre-diabetic for about 3 years, insulin resistant. It really started before then. In high school, I was very athletic. I was very active. I played basketball. I was doing track. I was just naturally thin and tall, and I didn't struggle with anything. And then there was a change in my body very quickly, and I was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome and several other hormonal imbalances that not only made it impossible for me to have children because I could not ovulate, but it also caused me to gain gain an incredible amount of weight very fast. I gained maybe 60 pounds in a summer, and quickly that grew and grew to over 100 pounds. And I was miserable, and to be a teenager going through that, and there's other symptoms that come with severe polycystic ovarian syndrome as well. The hormonal aspects, the hormonal side effects, including hair loss and abnormal hair growth, and just so many things that that really are not fun to deal with. It's really not what you want to do. Excuse me if I seem distracted. I'm getting messages that people want to join us, so I'm trying to send our
okay. That's okay. If anyone needs any support,
for your patience.
I know it's difficult also with this technology to manage different things at the same time. So
I know. I just have people wanting to do it.
Don't worry about that. This is how we do it. You're doing wonderful. I loved what you said. I loved that you hit a home run. You talked about vaccination. I mean, that's a big issue. Personal decision making. I loved
discernment. I can't say that word enough. Discernment. What is right for you may not be right for others. That's okay. What is right for others may not be right for you. That's okay. But use discernment. And above all, be conscious. If you choose to vaccinate yourself, read everything. Understand what's going in your body. Make that decision consciously. If you choose to eat cooked meat wrapped in tar, like, do it. But do so in love and do so in awareness. Understand what you're eating and what it's doing. That's my message, is be aware, be conscious, live consciously. Even if you want to live like a heathen, do so consciously. Just know what you're doing. Understand. Don't be unaware. Don't be grazing through life, be in charge.
I liked what you also said about, change happens when you're in grave suffering. Like, I feel like almost like this seems like it has to happen. Like, people don't change until things get like painful enough. Like, if it's not that bad, like, people just stay there,
Yeah. It's not a bad thing to suffer. And it's really interesting. I would give you my experience with childbirth. So I am lucky enough to be the vessel for life for a beautiful 5-year-old being. And it changed my world because it's amazing to me the lengths that we go to eliminate pain in society and in our allopathic community. And the amount of concern that was being projected on me for my pain level was really astonishing to me, because that pain is the exact thing that was navigating my body through that process. And if I didn't have that pain, if we don't have that pain, I'm using labor as an example. If the female body doesn't have that pain to guide them through that process, they will tear their body apart, removing this human from their insides. It is such an important process. And so in the allopathic health community, we isolate and treat symptoms only, and it really drives the root cause deeper and gives it a stronger foothold from my experience. And so that leads me back to the great suffering. That really did start in high school for me. To have your body change that quickly, to gain 100 pounds within a school year, to then be told that this was your new life and that it was not going to change. My hair was falling out. I was growing chest hair. I at one point was hemorrhaging and having like vaginal bleeding for 1 year solid. Okay. We're talking about
a lot of hormone shift problems in the body. And this is what's going on in the older population. Like, this is basically what's happening to people that are 40, 50, and 60 right now. Only you're in a younger body and having the same sort of thing happened right there. So for whatever reason, your body is exhibiting toxicity to life at an earlier age. And this is how it is, that some people are getting sick at 40 and some people are gaining weight at 50 and some people not at 60. It's just their body's tolerance for this.
It's true. Some of it is genetics. Sometimes you hit the lottery for genetics. I'm so sorry. I just had a friend join us for our chat. So thanks for coming, guys. But I've noticed that usually by 30, there's some kind of degeneration that starts. Even if your genes are solid and you look fantastic, the inside, I care less about what you look like on the outside. I want to know what your organs look like. Like, let's take a look at your liver. Let's look at your liver. Is there any fat in your liver? That's what I care about, not what your body fat content is. And so, yeah, it really did.
We've been brainwashed into these formulas of like checking the body fat, checking the weight, checking your
calories. Counting calories
by these markers that are really, yes, they are markers, but it's like you're talking about the color of something. Like, why do we talk about the color of the meat? Like, does that make a difference?
Right.
It's not about these things. Like, these things are there, but it's not about these things.
We're hyper focused on the details or symptoms, and we're not actually handling the root cause, whether we're talking about something literally or figuratively. That's really how we handle things in society, is we just deal with symptoms. We obsess over details and symptoms, and we drive the root cause deeper. And so that is the agonizing work that I do on myself every day. I try to live consciously in everything that I do. And that includes the self-sabotage and the opportunities that are illuminated in my own life every day. So I understand why for so long I chose to be unconscious. And there are still parts of me that I find that are unconscious. I still meet those parts of me that are maybe in that dissident space where I have to take that ego out and say, oh, wow, after all of this work, after this awareness, I find these spaces, I'll face them. I'm here. Like, I understand, but also with compassion, understanding that with all of these big changes, like we're talking about world altering things, and anybody that's sitting here, like chatting with us about this, will understand that, living this kind of lifestyle is against the grain, so to speak. And so you really do have to be convicted. One of my favorite things is whenever people talk to me about vaccines, they usually come to me in a place that I am lacking knowledge. And I have probably read more content about what's in the vaccines and where they come from and how they were developed and where that research has come from than most. I don't want to say I'm a better than or at that level, but doctors, because they have other things to study and learn about, and they choose not to pursue that information because they were just told that it's okay, and they trust their curriculum without verifying that information and the source of that curriculum. And so that's just what I encourage everyone to do. And that's what I started doing whenever I took my health into my own hands. I continued to suffer from 16 to about 23 when I had been to about 5 specialists, and they had guaranteed me that I could maybe go through, I really at 23, I hit a low point. I was totally infertile, and they had explained to me that it would never happen, and that I could go through all of this in vitro and all of these things that would be painful and expensive, and that I would have maybe like a 17% chance. These were the things being said to me. I was also extremely overweight and in pain every second of my life. My joints, my back, my neck, my ankles, it hurt to stand up. It hurt to move. My blood pressure was high. I was so close to needing insulin. Everybody in my family, I have a lot of diabetes in my family. And so I remember I was taking diet pills, and I was working. One of the ways that I have dealt with some of this is work. I'm a worker bee. I work a lot. And so at that time in my life, I was working an incredible amount. and taking diet pills. And one day I was running on a treadmill because I'm a runner. I love to run. And I passed out in full stride on the treadmill. And I woke up in the hospital, and doctor basically came over to me, and he was a very condescending overlord of my health, is how I experienced him. And he came and he sat next to me and he said, you know, I see that you're taking these placebo pills, and I don't know what you're trying to do. Like, you know, I've looked at your medical records, and you are never going to lose weight. You are not, like, you need to just accept this, like, about yourself. You have a hormone disorder, and we can try to regulate you, but it's going to take years, and this and this and that and that. And you just need to, like, love yourself or something. It was just something really hard to hear in those moments. And then he started talking to me about my insulin levels and about how we needed to start looking at possibly what that would look like for me. And he was not disturbed in any way about my condition. The condition of my life, of my blood work, all of it, he felt like it was par for the course because of my genetics. And I was really defeated in that space. And I spent several years really in mental anguish after that as well, just like succumbing to this thought that this was my body, that this was my life, that this is all I was ever going to experience. Until I was in a space where it actually started with my life partner. He was going to take an antibiotic for something. There was some kind of illness that was going on, and he was like, "Oh man, I don't know if I want to take this. I want to read about what's in it." And he decided to Google that information and read about it. And he became on fire for his own learning. And it drove him down the path of learning about vaccines and just all kinds of things. But it reignited my fire, I guess, in that way of like learning about things that are maybe taught to us that like vaccines, from my personal experience, that's all I can speak to, that maybe aren't what they seem to be. And so I started to do some research about some of the medications that I was being put on, and some of the treatment methods that were being suggested. And I found whole food. I found this concept. I started learning about all the chemicals that we're inundated with, from our shampoo to our perfume to the food that we eat, to the clothes that we wear. And I remember that I went into this funk, and I think I actually even used some vacation time, and I just went into this like space of just studying, just becoming completely obsessed. And a lot of it came also from my partner at the time, who was also on that path and just continued to learn more and more. And together we found this concept of chemical-free living. I won't say whole food, plant-based. I won't even say whole food. It really started with chemical-free. And so I went on a mission one day at like 4:00 in the morning. I like stopped my research. I like came out of this stupor, and I remember going into my kitchen and going into my bathroom and looking at all of these products with this new understanding and information, understanding now that whatever you put on your skin goes into your bloodstream within about 28 seconds. You might as well just drink it, you know? And so I just kind of went on this rampage, and I put everything into boxes, and I took everything out, and I donated all the food in my kitchen, and I took all of the products, shampoo, conditioner, toothpaste, you name it. And I started the agonizing journey of making these things, or sourcing these things in a chemical-free, natural way. And I was still consuming meat at that time. I was eating clean meat from farmers markets or hormone-free. Same thing with dairy. I was eliminating gluten immediately. The research that I had done about gluten brought that to my attention, my awareness early on. But I really didn't I made some big changes, but I wasn't vegan. I wasn't anything like that. I was just really, the biggest change was eliminating chemicals. And also I started to regulate my hormones naturally myself with things like nascent iodine and just a protocols that I had put together from masters that I had been learning from people like Tavis Bradley, and just people who create tonics and medicine out of, nature. And so I started to experiment with that. And within about 3 months, I lost 30 pounds. And so I went from 250 pounds to about 210 pounds, 215, 220. I was dancing around, and then the most beautiful thing happened for me. And I went in for a thyroid panel, and I got a call from my doctor that I needed to retake the test because there was a problem. There must be something wrong. This must have been mixed up with someone else at the lab, because this can't be your blood results. And I said, what are you talking about? What are you seeing? He says, well, your progesterone levels are through the roof. Could you be pregnant? That you couldn't be pregnant? This is my doctor asking me this question because he was so baffled. And it turned out through a somewhat dramatic chain of events that I was, in fact. And I will tell you, the doctors damn near panel interviewed me. They wanted to know what I was drinking and eating and sleeping and breathing because they just couldn't believe it. And they told me that it wasn't going to last and to not get excited, and that I would miscarry within a few weeks, and that I would certainly miscarry within a few months. And that because of the multiple surgeries that I've had to have on my uterus, removing polyps and fibroids and the scar tissue that is there from those surgeries, that I would not be able to carry full term. And so these were the things that were immediately being told to me, but I did feel otherwise. And so we did make it through our journey together. There was turbulence, but we made it. I did, by the end of that, go back up to my original 250 pounds. But I delivered my son safely. And so when that happened, after that happened, I realized something, that I was in control of my body, that the things that had been told to me about my body weren't necessarily true, that maybe I could change those things. Maybe they were true in that moment, but what if I do something about it?
So you got this sort of insight through the delivery of your child?
Yes, because I was infertile. I was told and guaranteed and promised by so many people that I could not and I would not. In fact, my son was my first egg. The first time I ever ovulated in my life was my son. Because my body did not produce the egg follicle hormone. It's like the linear around a sunflower seed, the inside part of a sunflower seed. If you suck on it for a few moments, it starts to get jelly around it. That's what needs to coat the egg for it to go down through the fallopian tubes and into the place where it can be fertilized or then released through cycle. And my body did not produce that egg follicle hormone. And so I could not ovulate. And so when I all of a sudden not only ovulated, but then carried my son full term, and my body carried me through that.
So you saw that you took chemicals out of your life.
Yes.
And you saw that you took a natural thing to increase a certain hormone inside your body naturally. And you saw yourself get pregnant. And then you saw yourself carry a baby to term and then deliver a baby. And then you thought, I can change my life myself.
So I thought, what else can I do? What else can I do? And I don't know if this means anything to everybody, but I'm a fire sign. I'm very pitta. I'm very competitive. I want to know. I want to know what I can do. When I was an athlete in high school, I pushed myself for fun. It just is that part of me. And so I wanted to know, what else am I capable of? What else can I do? And so with the help of my partner, I will say the support of my partner at that time, I absolutely threw myself into raw foods. I threw myself into it. I removed all of it. It took me some time to completely remove dairy, because it is hard, you guys. It is hard. It is a casomorphine. Like, if you research and understand the chemistry of dairy and how it interacts with our own chemistry, you will completely understand why it is the comfort food. You are literally getting high. Your body is being soothed. You are being soothed. And that's okay. Sometimes that's okay. But understand what's happening. Be conscious. Be conscious. Don't eat cheese because you think you like it. Understand that you're eating that because you need to ground, because you need to numb. And that's okay. I'm not telling you that you can't do that, but do it consciously. And so for me, cheese was a hard thing. It took a little bit of time. Being a lactating mother changed that for me. Ethically, the ethical part of plant-based living came after for me. The spiritual part of that has come after for me. But what came immediately was the results. And within about 13 months, I lost 115 pounds, you guys. And that was 5 years ago, you know. It's been a journey. It's a consistent process. Keep it simple. It's very easy to get overwhelmed at first, but for me, it was just living food. I am a living vessel. My tissues are living. My body is living. My heart is pumping blood through my living body. And so I examined myself. What I did for those 13 months is I personally examined everything that went in and out of my body. In and out of my body. Yes, all of it. I examined everything. I measured everything. I was aware of everything. Every bite that I took, instead of thinking about the next bite, I wanted to really focus on the journey. I wanted to think about what that process looked like. Where does that bite go? Where does it stop? Are there blockages? How does it affect things? And so for me, it was about awareness. It was about awareness more than the food.
Awareness,
it was about awareness.
Yeah. So, you know what, something that you also brought up there that I think is important to point on is the experience of the doctors kind of, you know, always kind of pushing you in thought to like your limited belief that you can't manage this and you can't change this and you can't control this. It's not like they're doing it, I think, intentionally mean. I think it's just they just are so brainwashed themselves. Like that's what they think.
Yes, like, they truly believe it.
It's not like any doctors, nobody has evil intent. It's like everybody's just following the information that they've been given.
Right. They truly believe it. They truly believed it. And for me, it was a cursing.
Go against it, you see that it's not true. Like if you don't do it, if you do the opposing information, you actually get well. Like
you actually get well. But there's no business in wellness, okay? And there's if the problem is solved and there's no symptom, then there's no medication. And if you understand the connection, if you research and learn, and this is up to you. This is not up to me to tell you. This is not up to you. Believe me, what I have to say. I'm just saying, go and research and learn about where the curriculum comes from. Who created the curriculum that is taught to the medical community?
Pharmaceutical.
Where did it come from? Who paid for it? Who funded the research?
But then we're not going to focus on the problem.
Right.
We're going to focus on the solution. And the solution is that people need to swim upstream like salmon. We need to go against the grain a little bit. You need to do some things that are not like in alignment with the status quo. It's not going to sound like what everyone else is thinking, saying, and doing. And you know what? At the start, don't get thinking about what you don't want. Like you could hear something that scares you and then you're like, oh, I don't want to do that, so I'm not going that way. But don't think this way. Just leave out the part that doesn't feel right for you.
Yes.
Whatever calls you, you go that way. Whatever doesn't call to you, you go to the other way. But don't turn out this world of nature that can heal and balance your body because any one part of it you don't like. I know when I read Arnold Ehret's book, The first time I read it, I was just like, oh my gosh, a different alternative idea of how my body gets healthy from the science that I had known about man. But in the book, he referenced the enema. And you know, for the first year and a half, like when I heard that, I didn't even like that didn't even like I wasn't even a possibility for that to even be happening in my life. The thought of that.
Right.
And for the first year and a half, I didn't even look that way. But then when a friend of mine, a new friend, said, "Have you done your enema?" I'm like, "Enema? Are you kidding me?" And then actually I tried it. I was like, oh my God.
The heavens open up.
Like my life has been changed.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't have to smoke a joint. I can have an enema.
Yes.
I don't need to have a six-pack. I need to have an enema. Like it's a different means of escape. Like get rid of a bad habit and choose a good one. A new natural one that appeals to you. Just whichever one.
It's amazing how full you become when you are empty. Okay. And I practice this in my daily life. I practice this with food. I practice this with energy. I practice this with anything that you can apply it to. You have to empty sometimes. You have to invite quiet into whatever situation is occurring, whether it's emotional, physical, mental, spiritual. Sometimes you have to fast, even if it's from something beautiful. Even maybe you have to fast from raw foods. Oh, got the pitchforks. You know, sometimes you have to fast from, or whatever your thing is that works. Maybe raw foods isn't your thing. Maybe you have to fast from what your normal routine is. You have to be willing to take pauses. And so for me, it really was that 13 months was a process of gaining awareness. It was a process of testing things on my body. And you touched on something else that's really important to me, John, that I'm really passionate about. It is the foundation for the work that I do with my gentle detox protocols. I believe that when you focus on what you don't want, you will attract it. And I don't believe in eliminating things from your diet or from your life. Sometimes you have to, if they're toxic, if they're hurting you immediately, you have to immediately eliminate those things. But there are other things especially when you're making huge lifestyle changes, like for instance, going to raw foods or even just plant-based, you know, whatever transition you're making. The approach that I took with myself, because, you know, it's easy to fall into an eating disorder kind of mentality with dieting or losing weight or trying these new lifestyle things. And so I knew that about myself. And so I really wanted to approach it from a different point of view. I was living in a new place alone at that time, where it was just me and my little family. I didn't know any other people, so I was kind of able to isolate. And I really focused instead on my internal dialogue on, we are going to add so much beautiful new fruits and vegetables and tastes and experiences that naturally I'm what doesn't serve me anymore started to flow out. And so I wouldn't tell myself, you can't have that tamale at the farmer's market. You're going to go straight to fucking hell if you eat that tamale at the farmer's market. Because then when I did eventually cave and eat the tamale at the farmer's market, I was eating it in shame. I'm like sitting there and I'm like just ruminating and all of this. And then I'm eating chicken and I'm eating hate, you know? And so I had to take a different approach for myself. I had to, eat in love. I had to eat in love. That concept was shared with me from Dan McDonald, Life Regenerator. Maybe some of you have seen some of his stuff. He talks about whatever you do so in love. You know, eat in love. If you're going to eat a cheeseburger, eat that cheeseburger in love. Do not sit there hating yourself. It also disrespects that animal who has, you know, now become your meal. So whatever you're going to do it consciously and in love. And so I practice this process of filling my cup with more good things and allowing what wasn't meant to be there to naturally fall out. And what I found is that I was no longer making those decisions from a place of ego about what belonged and didn't belong. I was naturally allowing whatever to leave. And so I wasn't coming in and saying, I'm going to eliminate this, I'm going to eliminate that. I just brought in all the new living good stuff, and I was seeing what my body was choosing to eliminate. I remember I went through this crisis with eggs, like 8 months in. I had been totally free from animal products or anything for like 8 months. And then all of a sudden I decided that I couldn't live without eggs, that I couldn't be healthy without eggs. I had to have them. And so I brought them back into my diet, and I immediately felt better. I mean, I was like, wow, this is incredible. I need to eat eggs. But I continued my consciousness. I continued to eat. When I was eating eggs, I was conscious. I was watching my body. I was still examining what was coming in and out of me. And yes, out of me, you guys, like, talk about it, think about it, look at it, be aware of it. Like, this is a conversation that needs to be happening. People don't even talk to their doctors about what's coming out of them, much less each other. If we compared notes, a lot of people would all of a sudden be very concerned about what's happening in their own body, but it's not a part of the conversation. And so after about 2 months, I noticed that I wasn't really feeling better anymore. I wasn't really feeling great. And I was like, okay, so it's fine. And then another like couple of weeks went by, and I really started to feel crappy. And so then I thought, okay, I'm going to eliminate the eggs again and see what happens. Within 4 days, I was immediately on top of the world. I had I had some textural changes happening in my skin over those couple of months. Within 4 days, they were gone. And I immediately proved to myself that what was happening before was I needed to go through that I am not healthier with eggs. But if I didn't grant myself that opportunity,
thought process that you had to overcome, you had to change your mind. I used to believe I needed all this protein, and I used to need it.
Yeah.
And then
I needed it.
I didn't. I don't even need protein anymore because I let it go in my mind, right? It's to whatever degree you let go that you believe that in your mind, and you let that go. And that happens through the practice of taking some of the food away and putting it back, and then
just test it, try it. And I have so much admiration and respect for you for so many reasons, but certainly for that, John, that you have been able to learn and reprogram, especially from your background, that world of protein, you got to have it. And so, it was really a process. And so now the only reason that I even attempt to, I don't like the word coach, but maybe just like walk with somebody through their journey is because I walked through that journey myself, and I didn't really have anybody. I was watching people on YouTube. I was kind of like stumbling through it myself with my partner at the time, and who was on his own journey with raw food in a very different way at a very different pace. And so, it was just a process. And I found that restriction did not work for me. Telling myself you have to be raw does not work for me. But always seeking the raw, always choosing raw, making that my focal point. And if I do choose to eat cooked food or eat something that is off of my, what I have found to be the best, I know in my mind, that's okay. We're going to get right back on track.
So we need to have this masculine, feminine kind of take outlook. Like it can't be like, I'm getting this done, I'm following raw foods, and this is how I eat, and this is what I don't eat, and can't be like that. That's too masculine.
Right.
It has to.
Sometimes that's necessary. Sometimes that's necessary.
Yes.
For healing.
When we start off, we need to build foundation with this.
Yes.
We need to build foundation with order and structure.
Yes.
But as we mature, the body comes to a point where it's not about just elimination anymore.
Yeah.
It's about finding balance. It's about rebalancing your body and rebalancing yourself.
Aligning. aligning yourself, with your body. I've reached a point in my journey with food where I'm concerned more about the vibrational frequency of the food that I'm eating than anything else. And maybe
calories,
I
protein.
don't care anything about that.
I
want to know how high is this tomato vibrating? Does it match my own vibration? Am I aware of my own vibrational frequency? Does this food match it? I'm going to put this in my body. It's going to live here for the next 3 or 4 days.
I've been doing this for too many days and I need a break and I need to eat something else. And that's going to be better for me right now. Like really, it's probably going to be good. I'm probably going to sleep a little bit and I'm going to have a weekend and I'm going to be a little more hanging out with my family. Yeah. And that's what I need to have right now. And I can tell my body wants that. I'm on holidays. Yeah. It's whatever. It's the weekend. It's relax time.
And that's a new concept for me.
It has to be a little bit of swing like this, especially in the transition. Like when you're coming from just eating whatever, whenever, and this has been your life for 20, 30, 40 years. And now you're going to try to swing to like raw food. Like then you're going to fail and then you're going to quit because you can't.
Yes. It's a cycle.
Because you can't do it.
It's a cycle. It's a cycle. And for me, this is a new concept of being able to be gentle and not so rigid with myself when it comes to the lifestyle. That's where you met me. That's where you came into my journey. So you fast forward from that point to I had healed through so much of that. I had landed myself this brand new body and sustained it for several years. And was very confident in my ability to heal myself from just about anything. You know, I'm walking around 10 feet tall and bulletproof. I have been through a lot of things, just like everyone else in my life. And I've experienced some things that have really made it easy for me to put a lot of my focus into work. Okay. And so that's kind of been my thing my whole life. When I wasn't able to be an athlete, when I wasn't able to push myself like that because of my weight, I started working full time when I was 16. And I have my entire life. And so for me, that took over. Now all of a sudden I was energetic. I was fit. I had the raw food. I was fasting. I could go for miles, you know, and so I became obsessed with my work. I was a new mother also. And I got off track. You know, business lunches, a glass of wine here, there. I thought, oh, you know, I'll detox later. I'm young. I'm healthy. I'm okay. But you know, to be honest with you, I noticed a lot of things. There were a lot of things that, every day I just thought was normal. I was very tired. I was progressively getting more and more tired. I was having digestion issues that I didn't understand. That was a big red flag for me that I should have picked up on. I'm very fit and I'm very aware of what I eat. And even though I was eating crappy vegan food, I still would fast and do intermittent fasting and was still aware of my input, output. And so when I started to experience my changes in my digestion and my bowel, I should have been more aware, but I was very numb. I was very numb and losing that connection quickly with my body because of the foods and the chemicals that I was consuming. It was disaligning me with the intuition. Okay. I believe that intuition lives in our physical body, that we access that intuition in our guts. And whenever our guts are lined with things that don't belong there, it blocks us from that villi, that villi in there that is actually an antenna. It's a spiritual antenna for us. It's a way for us to access that intuition. And so I was not paying attention. And in the beginning of 2020, in January, I was severely rear-ended in a car accident. And I had to have images done of my skeletal system and all of these things. And during that process, it was discovered that living inside of my body, this is where the ego really took a hit. this body that I thought I had control over, um, is a massive growth that lives inside of my abdomen. It is where my left kidney should be. It is about 5 by 7 inches across at its largest point, right below my rib cage. Think of like a solo cup on its side. And then imagine that that goes into a gnome's hat. It goes all the way down to my tailbone. It takes up an incredible amount of space in my body. And it is moving, and it moves my organs around and pinches things in different ways. And all of that was in there, and I didn't notice it. And when they found it, it was growing at the rate of a fetus, and it was already that big. And the terror that I was met with from the medical community, they wanted me on the operating table within 24 hours, even though they didn't know what it was, and they still don't know what it is. It is some kind of, I know what it is, actually. It is it's saving my life from all of the toxins that I have had built up in my body and that I was pumping into my body. For those few years that I was working on business, I was eating vegan, and I thought that I was healthy. I was eating Impossible meats. I was eating vegan cheeses. I was eating, I knew that it wasn't healthy. I knew from my raw food, from my lifestyle, from the information, I knew it wasn't healthy, but I thought I could get away with it. I thought that I could clean it out later. I thought that I was young, that, oh, I could just have a few. But my body, me personally, okay, it doesn't work that way for me. And obviously there was something there before that raw food triggered a healing. And see, that's again, the ego. I saw the physical body had changed. I thought, oh, I'm healed. I feel great. I look great. I lost 115, 120 pounds. Like, the problem's over, right? Wrong. What had happened is I had opened up a healing crisis inside of me. There was already a small growth that was near my kidney, that was basically chosen by my body as a dumping site for all of the toxins that I all of a sudden stopped it from releasing, because I stopped a detoxification process and slammed myself into carcinogens. And I mean, I was smoking weed. I was like, you name it, carcinogens, drinking moderately, like, wine, things like that, but just stuff that doesn't belong in the body, but certainly not in my sensitive body with my hormonal. It really was the cause of this. And so it was a smack in the face. It was an absolute smack in the face. It was a smack in the face to my ego. It was a smack in the face that I had to slow down, that I had to pay attention, that I couldn't do whatever I wanted to do, that I wasn't invincible, that I had to pay consequences. Yeah, there's cause and effect for my behavior.
Going the other way again, like, it's like you kind of got to fall down again to like remember, like what you're grateful for and what you've learned and what and get back on track again.
Right. So since that point, I did decline medical intervention, and there's one instance that I'll share with you guys that I feel like you'll appreciate, and that's the moment that I was told about this by the surgeon who was reading the radiology reports. It was a very interesting experience for me, because I was by myself. I was there. And, the doctor comes in and they meet you, they talk to you for a few minutes, and they say, okay, well, we're going to take a look at the images. I have somebody bringing them over. I'm going to go and look at them, and I'll come back in and we'll chat. And so when he came back in, the energy in the room was completely different. There was an urgency. There was a very, it was a pressure. There was a pressure change in the room. And he was really insistent that we schedule the surgery immediately. And I was very aware of the fear, the fear, I think, that was the reason, that we were afraid of what was happening, that we didn't know. It was the lack of knowledge and the fear that he wanted me to make this decision based off of. And I declined. I let him know that I needed to get more information before I would be willing to consider something like that. And the radiologist was arguing with him right there in the room that it wasn't a good idea, you know, to open me up, because they don't, and they still don't know exactly what it is, that it could pop or these kinds of things. But the surgeon's job is to go in and isolate the problem and remove it. And whenever I told him no, he got really aggressive with me. Not aggressive, but like, I guess like his temperament changed. And it was really amazing to me to feel and witness his change. I'm an intuitive, energetic reader. And so it was very interesting for me to feel that change, where he came in as this protector. He had my health in his hands, you know. He was here to guide me through this situation that was apparently out of my control. And the moment that I declined his advice, he became very volatile. And it was very interesting to me to have that experience. And the way that I've been treated through this process has been very interesting to me. That was about 2 years ago. I immediately jumped into what I know is true and started back into my raw fluid detoxing and creating balance to naturally eliminate anything that's imbalanced. I at no point have been attacking this. I am not attacking anything in my body. I am rebalancing my body. And every day I speak to myself and that part of my body. And I immediately started this where I am aware of you. I know that you're here now. Thank you. Like, I see that you brought me a message, you know, but you're hurting me. You don't belong here anymore. And so I release you to go where you do belong. I release you in love to go. And if you do come back to me or anyone else, do so in a loving way. Nice. Because if you attack something, you will receive an oppositional force. This is very important, you guys. If you are experiencing back pain, if you're experiencing liver failure, if you're experiencing whatever it is that you're experiencing, dis-ease, whatever, if you attack that thing, you focus on what you said earlier. If you focus on the thing you don't want, even if you're focusing on eliminating it, you are drawing it to you. And so what I've been focusing on for the last 2 years is what I do want. And that's been very messy. It is very messy. It's been very raw in so many ways. It is forcing me to sit with parts of myself that I have very effectively silenced. But I immediately, within about 4 months of diving back into tonics, fasting, raw, specific protocol, was able to stop the growth completely in its tracks. And so, yes, this thing that my body created is inside of me right now. It's still there, but it's not growing anymore. It's not growing anymore. I've had several, I keep up on my images, and it's no longer growing. And now I'm just inviting the balance back into my body. And it is a process. What I'm finding, and what I found with raw foods the first go around, and I'd love to hear your take on this, John, is the spiritual experience that comes with cleaning out your body as you witness your physical body detox. Some of the things that you witness come out of you and change during that raw detox, going from that standard American living that we've all been there, standard Western food, whatever. When you witness what comes out of you and how your body responds to that, understand that spiritually and emotionally and mentally, you are experiencing similar detox experiences. And so I'm wondering what your experiences were with that, honestly, if that was a surprise for you.
It's, you know, it's just that everything that's blocking us is physical and mental and emotional. So there is an emotional part to it, There's a mental part to it. There's some words that go along with it. There's some repetitive words that we've got conflict with. There's a fight.
Yeah.
There's a fight. There's a conflict.
Yes.
There's some conflicting words. And there is an emotional body. There's a sadness, a frustration, a sorrow, an anger.
Yeah.
There's a shame.
Yeah.
An embarrassment.
No. And that's where really we're at the point that I came to with you in my journey, where I had it dialed in. I had my game plan, my physical protocol. What am I going to do with this physical manifestation of this problem? But then I was looking at all of the other bodies and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what am I going to do about the energetic manifestation? I do believe that issues live in the tissues, and that you have a physical vessel of what's going on in your auric field in your bodies. And so I know that this growth is also energy that I have not released. And so it was recommended to me, and I knew that I had to get in touch with my health and that energy, and that meant medicine. And that was a problem for me. That was not something that comes natural to me, that is uncomfortable.
Hold on a second there, love. Hold on a second there. Let's see. You're really breaking up. It's troublesome. I'm not sure if this is just a unfortunate. It could be even energetic. Like we're just talking about something of very high energy right now. Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. Did you lose me for a little bit there?
Yeah. Because I'm sitting right next to my router, so shouldn't be any disturbances.
No. So sometimes I get a little bit of this sort of thing. Sometimes.
Right.
And also too, sometimes even when you're just speaking of something of very high energy, this type of energetic sort of energy that's there can also be very hard to send. So there's no confirmation either way of what that is.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
But what we can do is we just start again where you left off there. I know you were talking about energy, like recognizing that this is an emotional thing, recognizing this is a mental thing, recognizing this is a physical thing. Because when you eliminate waste, you feel the emotions go, you hear the thoughts in your head again, and you've got to come to some sort of peace and resolution inside of you, where it's some sort of acceptance of this, like. This is okay. Like, it's a part of my life. And when you let it go in the mind and the emotion, and then the waste goes, like you see the elimination of the physical toxic waste go from the body. So this is a physical, emotional, mental shift in the being.
No, it's true. And I believe that that's why, that's where I'm not going to say failed. I didn't fail. I accomplished a lot with my physical body the first round with my weight loss and transformation, but it was my physical body. It was just the physical. I was hyper focused.
I was a big bodybuilder. I was the physical body, love. That's
why you get me. You get it.
But I was polluting myself inside.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Without a doubt.
Inside with my head, with my thoughts, and with my was making my eat those foods, and I believed I needed it, and I had to come out of the thought process of all of that and change it and reprogram the mind to be really happy with fruits and vegetables and be satisfied, like overjoyed.
Allow yourself to be full without it.
You're starving yourself in any way. Like, I love what I eat. I love it.
But it's not a punishment. It's a gift. And I deal with this whenever I coach people or whenever I work with people. The treat. I'm going to treat myself this weekend. I'm going to have a cheat myself. Is it Is it a truly yourself? Do you observe? Have you been eating and healthy living that you observe trying to do? No. At least be aware of what you're doing. Don't tell creating a neurological pathway your gourd is love. It's not. You know what? This is not the thing. Like, I'm gonna examine the frequency of this. You know, I'm gonna eat it. These are the conversations that I have. Food at this my different aspects of
Love,
food
you know what?
activate.
This is breaking up. Are you able to hear me again? Are you?
Oh no. I hear you. Can you hear me?
Welcome, love. Welcome. Welcome.
Right.
Welcome.
You hear me now? Is that working? It looks like some people can hear. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's breaking up over here for me. I don't know.
I don't know if resetting it. I think we just have to weather the storm.
Just go sound, no video. Yeah, we could turn off the video and see if that would
help. We could try off the video.
Let's try sound for a second and see if this works better for a second.
Is that better?
Go ahead, talk again, love.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Perfect. Yeah, we don't need video. We can do this without video.
Great. Let's do it that way. Let's see if that works better.
We'll see if that works. For me, that's where you came into the picture. I realized that I needed to get in touch with the stillness. I was ready to start meditating. I was ready to start accessing those parts of me and in alignment with that's what I
see. So breaking up again, you know, like that leads you to believe that that's nothing to do with a bandwidth problem, like that's something else.
That's so sad. I could fix it.
Can you, do I sound regular to you, love?
You sound fine to me. I had a few moments of turbulence. I don't know how everybody else is experiencing this. I've seen a couple of comments come through.
Yeah.
Can hear us.
Yeah.
Are we okay?
It's still, you know, kind of cutting out and in and out for me. You know what? One thing I've heard about what in your story, love, is I would say that, you know, you're talking about intuition. I think you're just talking about finding like your inner energy. Like you're just finding your inner energy, your inner joy, your inner guide, your intuition, your inner wisdom. You're finding that loving energy inside of yourself. This is like fixing something inside of yourself rather than trying to fix it from the outside. It's really just an alternative approach to health and wellness than what we're being taught in the mainstream.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And thank you for for your work. Combining the physical body with the mental and spiritual. Thank you for that, because it's work that has to be done.
People really need to connect inside. People really need to connect inside. People need to heal themselves inside.
True. And we are our own healers. If to is saying is that you don't need me or anyone else, and you have to giving yourself access to the right tools, but we are our own healers. We are our own magic. These were created, designed, you know, to thrive. And it has been my experience that you're trying to heal a plant or yourself or balance anything, get out of the way from the natural system. Find the natural system rhythm and then get out of the way. And so actively practice now with the work that you've shown me. I focus spiritual and emotional aspect than even the physical. I'm opportunity to have my attention held on something that I know I need to do, the body.
I can't hear anything either.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, okay, there you go. You're back again. This is it, love. I'm not sure that anybody else is hearing different than me, but this conversation is being interrupted.
Well, you know what that means? I think that we're going to have to do it again. Disrupting something, so.
You know, I'm really enjoying. I'm thoroughly enjoying what you're saying. I really think you're totally hitting the nail on the head. I think you're recognizing this is about tuning into yourself. This is about you know, when we go to the doctor, though. Unfortunate, I think, is the other part of this story, is that the doctor's insistence that you go with this fear-based sort of way is a bit of a nocebo, just like the placebo can make you well, the nocebo can make you sick. Like if the doctor says you need to take this or you're going to get sick, then you believe that instantaneously, put into your mind. Like we have to take an automatic, like, my body can heal this. Like, I have to take like an automatic connection to that sort of approach or thought.
Can I just give you some love there and really share with you the life-changing experience that it has, reframing work that we've done together, even just in simple conversation, the awareness that you have helped me develop of the way that I speak about the things that I'm experiencing and the things that I'm working towards, about the importance of shifting those words and really creating a different spell or a different energy. Thank you so much, because it impacts my life every day and the work that I do with others, and control.
I'm so sorry.
Of our reality.
I'm so sorry this is breaking up. It's so broken every time. I'm sorry, love.
Well, I appreciate you for inviting me here, and it's really an honor. And would love to try it again sometime.
Oh, it's so.
I appreciate you all for.
Lovely. Can you turn on your camera there?
Yeah. We tried. It was a gallant effort. That's all you can do. That's all. Sometimes loud. It's just too loud.
Well, lovely, lovely. Like, I mean, sometimes you send a message even in another way, love. Thank you. Thank you.
You guys, I appreciate you all.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Bye.